I've spoken here about the radical division in our society according to wealth and how it can only lead to ruin. Can the one percenters sail along merrily, 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 while so many others scrounge to eat? Is that, as people like to say these days, sustainable? The issue is money and the seriously inequitable distribution of wealth. And how much money is enough? And can money buy happiness? It seems clear to me that if it can't buy happiness outright, it can purchase privacy, luxury, and grandeur, which might soften the blows of living to some extent. I am thinking about this because I just visited the Biltmore estate, called the largest house in America, with 250 rooms. It was built from 1889 to 1895, called the Gilded Age, but this isn't mere gilding, it's the whole goddamn lily. We can trace it back to one of the robber barons. It was done with Cornelius Vanderbilt's railroad money by one of his grandsons, the youngest of 8 in his family, who had seen his siblings build summer homes in the usual places where the wealthy would gather. Looking for a healthy place for himself and his mother, he bought 125,000 acres in western North Carolina, basically all of western North Carolina, and there he created what he called my little mountain escape. It's big, all right. The 3-mile-long approach road snaking through the forest gives a hint at the treat to come. But the initial sight of the place, the big reveal after you pass through the gates, is breathtaking. It is set very deliberately all alone in a huge cleared space. Its towers, turrets, steep-pitched roofs, arches, and gargoyles proudly proclaiming their rightful spot, with the Smoky Mountains massed in the background. No bush, tree, or shrub obscures it, and even the fountain before it is low, as if bowing before its splendor. It looks like the Titanic would if it were sitting there. It is as excessive as it can possibly be, and you quickly realize that is exactly the point. Inside it just goes on and on. The grandson liked opera, and his home is one soaring aria after another. The winter garden room, the billiard room, the banquet hall, library, bedroom, smoking room, gun room, all furnished with stuff the grandson collected while traveling around the world. In the basement are the servants' quarters, kitchens, storage rooms, laundry, and also the swimming pool, gymnasium, and bowling alley. To protect the honor of the ladies, there is a bachelor's wing, and another curio, an Otis Brothers elevator. The grandson had help, the usual suspects, attendants to the rich, landscaper Olmsted, architect Hunt, portraitist Sargent. As you troop around through this, after a while the impressiveness dims, and there's something quite forlorn about it. It is like the Titanic, locked not in deep dark water but in time. The very building material, the limestone, marble, oak, velvet, and wrought iron, the curved stairways and majestic chandeliers, dates the place. Speaking of a bygone world, it seemed to me to be the last eruption of the Victorian age, misplaced on American soil. There is something about these fantastic enterprises that inherently dooms them. The Taj Mahal was intended as a wedding gift, but became a tomb. And the Biltmore is a crypt, a mausoleum, and tombing a way of life. Was it happiness, or was it a bulwark against the inevitable that happens to us all, regardless of our wealth or station? He died fairly young, at 51, I think, and his wife and daughter had to sell 85,000 acres to the government, what is now the Pisgah National Forest. And in 1930 they opened the house to the public for tours. The estate is still in family hands, and from what I can see it's doing quite well. It boasts over 1 million visitors a year. Price varies, but it's about $50 a head. And it is fairly astonishing to see them in their ball caps, t-shirts for sports teams, shorts and sneakers, patrolling the vast halls and rooms of this gloomy behemoth. There's a Biltmore hotel, a Biltmore village, a Biltmore concert series of rock and roll oldies acts. They cater to special events there, and there's also the grounds, which are still kept up and impressive, and a winery and a farm. We were told that the house and grounds alone employ 1,800 people. It's a haunted house. Its people are frozen in paintings on the walls. Meals are set and no one ever eats them. Balls are on the billiard tables. No one ever takes a shot. Building such a dinosaur might have been a happy venture, as the historical artifacts suggest, but it could not endure for long, and it stands now extinct, like one of its stuffed taxidermy, an enormous, sad symbol, like the castle in Citizen Kane, of wealth taken to a far, far extreme.